Hey, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to another episode.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It's going down. Welcome back to the kids. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
We are back, baby.
That's it. Welcome
We're
to yet
back.
another podcast.
Yeah.
Oh!
You need to talk closer to your mic. We can't even hear you.
I'm feeling close, dude. I'm feeling really
Are
close.
you feeling real close?
Yeah, we're in Huntington
Feeling
Beach
so
today.
close. Feeling so close.
Really close today.
We're in HB, recording at my place.
Yeah, we're coming at you straight from HB, which is
your place.
it's a nice little shake up, you know.
It is.
The last couple weeks, I feel like we've just been at my place just because of the abundance of food.
Yes.
And since
Well, I don't know. The last time we went over there, dude, I was like,
We're a
yo,
little-
what do you have to eat? You're like,
I got a pack of hot dogs. Dude, but I mean, ideally, we would have recorded there today because I just went shopping like last week, and I'm going to tell you why, but I went shopping for like a crazy, insane amount of food.
That's
So
the
last
best.
thing, like-
do you like feel poor when you have no food in your house? My wife is always like, when we have no food in the house, she's like, we're poor. I'm like, no, we just need to go shopping.
Well, that's just the thing, dude. Like, at the first of the month after I pay rent, I am poor. So it's kind of like one of those things where as soon as I pay rent, I want to just go out and I want to go get shopping. You know?
Dude, nothing feels better than opening up your fridge and it's full of food and you're just like,
Yeah.
I can eat whatever I want. Do I
And-
want a popsicle? Do I want a steak?
Another one of the many things that we take for granted when you live at home as a child. A full refrigerator,
Totally.
a full belly.
Hey, do you remember when? So we come from a family of 6. It was my dad, my mom, and two. You know, there's 2 boys, 2 girls. I remember my dad would go shopping at Ralph's, and he would
coupon
come
clipping.
home.
Coupon clipping.
He was coupon clipping.
Sometimes
king.
he would save more than he spent, man. He was so proud of that.
So I remember my dad coming home, and he would just put away all the groceries. But you know what he did? He liked to hide the goodies.
Yeah, cinnamon rolls, those things. You
Cinnamon
ain't gonna
rolls,
find them.
dude. Pop-Tarts.
Anything with
Gushers.
the name, anything with the like the name Pillsbury on it was just hidden.
It was hidden, dude, from your eyes. But, you know, we were latchkey kids, so, you know, we got home from school, my parents weren't home. Oh, yeah, we'd go dive in there. We'd go find that stuff. We'd find that stuff in the cupboard, dude. I was a good sniffer, dude. I'm a tall kid. I'll push that.
You were just drinking sugar straight out of the cupboard,
Dude, I was just-
you were looking for anything.
I was like,
sweet,
I know
man.
Dad has some Pop-Tarts hidden behind like a disgusting cereal box.
Dude, sadly, I actually bought a box of Pop-Tarts.
Did you
like
really?
the 8 Pop-Tarts.
I can't remember the last
Okay,
time I
all right.
had
Here's
Pop-Tarts.
I think
so
I
good.
think that last night I very well may have made the fattest move
Did you?
of my move out career,
What
like
did you
of
do?
living alone. I made 8 cinnamon rolls. Like the like the little Pillsbury pack.
Dude,
like
every podcast we're talking about, my brother's like, I'm going to get back
Dude,
in shape.
I know. I know. But
You
look,
fat-
but when you go shopping and you're going through every aisle just to say, what do I need? What do I want? And I got to those Pillsbury.
You're like,
When
get
I got
my cart.
When I got to those Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, you know, and it comes with that little cup of frosting.
So
And what
good.
pisses me off is they don't sell
Did
the
you get
one
the
with
orange one or the
Dude,
white
they
one?
They don't sell that anymore.
Yes, they do.
They don't sell that one.
I will prove it to you.
All right. Well, look. And every time, and Cinnabon had those. Okay, no, it's Cinnabon that stopped selling them because they had the orange frosting.
They're
ones.
off-brand of like whatever.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I bought because when we were growing up, you always got like 1 or 1.5 cinnamon rolls, and
True.
when you buy like a full-on 8-pack of cinnamon rolls, you're like, I'm gonna make these. I'm gonna be in the comforts of my home. I made all 8 last night, and I, in a weird way, spread the frosting across only 7 of them because I know it's like you kind of have to spread the frosting.
There's
Kinda,
not enough.
If you put the frosting on all of them, like it's just like. But I was like, I'm gonna make 7 great ones instead of 8 mediocre ones.
Just throw out one burn one.
So I put frosting on only 7 of them, and I threw out the one last, like the little piglet, dude.
Like, I don't need those carbs.
Yeah, the runt, I threw it away, and then I kept the other
believe you.
7, and I frosted those babies up, dude. And dude, I'm telling you, I ate them all. Watching, I was on Netflix and I watched this movie that we grew up with. We had it on tape. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Field of Dreams?
Oh, if you build it, he will come.
And if you build it, he will come.
Dude, that's
Closer to the
1989.
mic,
I
dude.
watched. Dude, okay, yeah. So
They're
let
not
me
even
back that-
they're not even discreet about that in the movie. Like it's so loud. Like if you build it, he won't come.
He was like, "Yeah, I heard you the first time."
Dude, you can hear the guy like breathing after the recording. He's like,
Oh, he's a smoker.
yeah. Dude, that movie was so boring. Like I'm
It's
so glad I
89.
watched. I'm so glad I watched it by myself. I didn't realize it was done in '89. If I had to guess,
That's 18 years old, bro.
yeah, Kevin Costner, dude. It's one of those movies where it's like you'd think it's done in '92 to '94, And then like he's like all like super nostalgic about shoeless Joe Jackson. And then he's like, I gotta build. Like he basically buys like this farm, and he starts as soon as the movie kicks off. Like I didn't remember. Like dude, they don't waste any time. As soon as he gets this farm, he's hearing voices of, if you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come. And then all of a sudden he's talking to his wife, who just like reluctantly just accepts the fact that, okay, you want to build a freaking baseball diamond
I saw a vision
with our cost.
I saw a vision.
Yeah, with our cash crop just totally being destroyed. Like, we're not going to be able to make any payments. And he puts in this baseball diamond. All of a sudden, Ray Liotta, who shows up, who plays shoeless Joe Jackson, and he's got like a fat scar on his face, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up? Thanks for building this baseball diamond. Hey, there's other ones, you know, that want to come out and play." And he just disappears into like a cornfield, dude.
You're just like, dude, just stay in heaven and play.
And then Kevin Costner's just okay with that, and then he's okay with leaving his entire family behind, leaving and going and finding the black guy from Star Wars,
dude. And he meets up with James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, and he goes and shows up at James Earl Jones. Like, he flies like halfway across the map to go find James Earl Jones, like the guy from like,
he has like an RV
Star
randomly.
Wars, from Star Wars and the Sandlot, and he's got like the deepest voice in the world. He does like every other. If it's not him doing like the voiceovers, it's like that other black guy, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. You're thinking of Morgan Freeman.
Okay, so Kevin Costner.
When has Morgan Freeman never looked old?
He always has. So Kevin Costner basically gets the nerve to build a freaking baseball diamond in his backyard, and then all of a sudden he gets the nerve to just leave his entire family behind to go find James Earl Jones, who's like the only other guy who can do like a great voiceover next to maybe Morgan Freeman. And he shows up at James Earl Jones' apartment like, "Hey, I need you to come back with me." And James Earl Jones like, "I don't know the Sandlot."
He slams the door in his face.
And then all of a sudden he's got this like,
he's like, "Come on, I've driven millions of miles."
He's got this huge fat guy coming back with him to his baseball diamond. And then they got like that kid Graham or whatever that goes with them. And I don't know if you realize, but like Matt Damon was an extra in that movie.
Was he?
One of the baseball players. Yeah, but they have like all these, like, the movie's so bad. Like, it's just like the way, how much they just accept, you know, and then how much they just accept the fact that there's ghosts playing baseball in their backyard.
And then just people come over their house and they can't see him.
Yeah, like that one, the brother-in-law who's got like red hair.
I don't know.
He's like, "Yeah, no, come on, like you need to make the payments on it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy your land from you. You got to make this move."
You're like, "Shut up,
And then
Ginger."
as soon as he sees the ghost, he's like, "Don't sell your land. Don't sell your land." And then the whole movie just concludes with the fact that they can see these baseball players, not whether or not they're making any money. And James Earl Jones has like this epitome of, "People will come to your baseball diamond. People will pay." And he just gets a figure out of nowhere, $20 to come see your baseball diamond, and without even understanding why they will want to come. Remember that? It was such a bad movie, man.
Terrible.
Like, yeah, and the only reason I watched it was because I knew that we had the movie when we were kids, and I remembered like watching the movie. I remembered maybe the first 10 minutes of it, and then I didn't remember the rest of the entire movie, which means that we must have just watched it and then would just turn it off.
Well, it was so boring. We fell asleep.
Dude, it was just not entertaining at all. But
it was terrible.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, guys, welcome back.
We're here to talk to you guys about some fun stuff today. Dude, like, so, all right. So, how was your week, man? What did you do?
My week was freaking phenomenal, man.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
Just kidding. You got a new phone though. You got a brand new phone.
In the beginning of the week, I got a brand new phone. Yeah, thank God. You know, the iPhone 10 just came out, so I could finally afford, you know, the iPhone 2. Yeah. No, but you know, I opted out to just go with the iPhone 7.
Yeah, both you and I.
It's not brand new. Yeah. No, it's new. It's water resistant.
Nice.
You know, the 8 that really didn't like have any other features that I liked. So yeah, man, just got a brand new phone because my other phone was on the fritz. You know, it was like freaking.
Does the button on those ones push all the way in? Because I mean, dude, I'm still on like the iPhone 5S.
It does not.
So it's just straight reading your fingerprint.
You put it in and it feels like it like clicks, but it doesn't. It's just.
It shakes, so it vibrates, and and then you feel like it's doing that.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest difference between that phone and like your old one?
Well, it's a lot.
Besides having a cracked screen and just like being super laggy.
Dude, my other phone was so cracked. It was like, y'all need lotion. Your phone is ass. It's got all kind of cracks.
Yeah.
Space no, man. It's a little bit bigger. It's faster. You know, it's big, black, and it's you know, long. You know,
that's
it's
what
nice.
she said.
It's a good
man.
phone.
Yeah, good enough. Man.
But yeah, man. So this weekend, I actually got to go and see a big comedian hero of mine. I got to go and see. Yeah, I got to see Bert Kreischer. at the
nice.
Irvine Improv. That man is hilarious. Love that guy.
Yeah, the machine.
Love his attitude. The machine. I listen to his podcast. I like his podcast. It's called the Bert Cast. And I listen to that because he interviews mainly just comedians.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan's got a great podcast I listen to. There's a lot of really good podcasts out there. I like Bert's because he specifically interviews comedians. Mm-hmm. And that's like my shit. So that's I like to listen to those, like
I like Bert when I always make it a point
silly
to listen to Joe's podcast when Bert's on, but I don't think I've ever actually gone and listened to Bert's individually.
You have to, dude. And if there's like a specific comedian that you're into on there that he's interviewing, it's just gold, dude. It's so much fun. So
you met him, right? Because I saw the picture.
Yeah. I went and took a picture with him, and I got to have like 10 seconds with him. Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm a big fan. I love you."
What did he say?
He's just like, "Oh, thanks, dude." Oh, yeah. He's just like a big jolly.
I saw the picture. He wasn't even wearing a shirt because a lot of times he does this.
Dude, and like 10 seconds into a show. Okay, so 10 seconds into a show, he takes his shirt off.
Really?
Maybe not even 10 seconds. It was cool. So we went there, Irvine Improv. I had that day, we planned out pretty well. My brother's just eating chips like a fat ass. So I had my wife, she was off that day. It was Friday. And I told her, hey, drop me off at work since you're off. She was babysitting our nephew, Aziel. And she dropped me off to work, and then she picked me up around 5:30, and then we just went straight to the Improv because I work in Irvine, and it's the Irvine's Improv's right there. We got there, and we were both just chilling, man. We had a little pregame in the car, and then we got inside, got some pretty good seats. I used to work there for like a couple months.
Yeah,
and then
I remember that.
And as soon as I got there, I saw all the people that I used to work with, and I'm like, hey, what's up, so-and-so? What's up, so-and-so?
They're still there. They're still there in the box office.
Yeah, saying what's up to everybody. It's not like I got any special privilege, but one of the guys that was seating us was cool. I was just like, hey, man, just sit us like on the edge where we're not like super close, but it's like a perfect seat in the middle. So we got a bomb seat. And then Ivy and I were just chilling, and we're just kind of like waiting for the show. We got we got a little burger that we split. And then there was it was like a long table. So it was me, her on the edge, and then there was like a seat open right next to us, and then after that there was like more of the table, like it was all full.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for whoever just to sit there. So they sit this big couple right next to us. Oh, nice. Big dude. I forget his name. I could look it up in my phone. I got his number. Big jolly dude.
Yeah.
He's funny.
He's a comedian?
Hell. He's not a comedian, but he was just like a big chubby dude, bald head, just a silly
like
dude.
Gus.
And he came in.
Gus?
Yeah.
Your buddy Gus.
No, it wasn't that. And then he had this Latina girl that he was dating for like a couple months, and then she came with him. Dude, this couple was the shit. Right as soon as they sat down, I was like, there they are! Here you guys, we've been waiting for you! Like, just like completely jacking with them. And he's like, dude, we've been waiting this whole night to come see you guys. And he totally played like off of my energy. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun night. Because we still had like 30 minutes till the show started. Yeah. So we're just ordering drinks. And then as soon as the waitress comes by, he's like, waitress, 4 shots. And nice. I think he called them like surfers on acid or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that came around, and then he's like, right when the server dropped them off, he's like, can we get four more shots of white gummy bear or something like that? Dude, by then Ivy had pre-gamed in the car, and then after that shot, she was just like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. And I was just like, I'm feeling pretty good too. And then and then I ordered some drinks for her and I. And like this little souvenir glass, and then right after that came the dude ordered long story short, he ordered like 4 rounds of shots for us, and we just met this guy like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was trying to show off to the chick that he was with.
Was she big and fat?
And she was like, I know her. Yeah, she was this big chick, big Latina chick. She was hilarious. They're both like divorced couple that just got together. Each of them has like 35 kids or something.
Yeah.
And
wait, did they say that?
They're on a date. No. He had like 3 kids. She had 2. Dude, she's Hispanic. Of course, she has a couple kids. I'm just kidding. Wow. But anyways. I went to the restroom, and I'm a big fan of Bert, so like I follow him on social media and stuff, and I saw his wife was with him, and she was like in the lobby. She was setting up to sell some merchandise later in the night.
Yeah.
And I was like, I walked up to her and I was like, "Hey, Miss Kreischer," and then she's like, "Oh," she's from the South. She's like, "Oh, hey y'all," you know, "Hey y'all, how y'all doing?" And it was just me. And I said what's up to her and just high fived her. I was like, "Dude, your husband's awesome. He's hilarious. Big fan." Afterwards, I totally felt bad, dude, because I totally ditched that couple and my wife, and I ran outside because I knew he was doing meet and greets. So I jumped in line.
Does he always do that?
I think
Or
so.
like-
He's like. He's not like
just-
huge
'cause you-
star, you know. He's pretty big, and he was outside with his shirt off, and there was like a little step and repeat where you could take pictures. It says like improv on the back of it, and you know, I was like 15th person in line or something, and then Ivy came out and joined me, and dude, it was awesome, man. I just got to say, I was like, "Hey, man, big fan, love you, Bert," and took a picture with him, and just like, oh, you know.
Were most people getting a picture or an autograph or what? Or just a picture?
So they were selling merchandise outside. He had like a bunch of T-shirts with his whole family on it, like all looking like gangsters or something, like something hilarious.
Yeah.
And then his wife was out there, and then he was just in that step and repeat, and just had a huge line of people. There's like the Urban Improv holds like 500 people. Mm-hmm. It was full. So there's like 20-30% of those people try to get in line.
Yeah.
Just, take a picture. And I was just stoked. I got a picture with him, and dude, it's freaking fun. He's awesome.
That's
He's
cool.
awesome.
So the whole like interaction with him lasted like maybe like 10 seconds. And you just had somebody hold
Yeah,
your,
the
your
max.
And then you had somebody hold your new phone and just take a picture.
Yeah.
And that was it. No autograph.
No.
Good enough, dude.
Good enough, dude.
It was just him. Was there anyone else there that was?
No, they had a.
How long was his set?
His set was an hour and a half. I actually recorded the whole thing on my phone.
Yeah,
On
you
audio.
mentioned that you couldn't actually hold your phone up because they would tell you to turn your phone off.
Yeah, they tell you to turn off all your audio devices, and I was like, I'm gonna push record. We're gonna keep it on
And
black.
what did you do? You put it in your pocket? Because somebody that I know.
I left it on the table.
Okay, yeah, because somebody that I know also actually just went and saw Adam Sandler, and experienced the same thing where like he was singing songs and everything like that, but they couldn't have their
Check it out.
phone up. That's him. That's Bert. He's just like a big fat jolly guy.
He's a party animal.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
he was voted Florida's #1 party animal for like his college or something, and like he's just a bundle of joy. That man.
It's his voice, right? It's like he's kind of like
he
like
laughs
this.
like,
Yeah, dude, his high pitched laugh and it's just the way he is, man. Like it's hard to explain.
He's a good dude.
He's a goofball.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. So this week, like my girlfriend's grandma, she turned 80, and I think like early in the week, there was one day where she was like planning on coming over, and she's like, yeah, my grandma, she's turning 80, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like, you guys having like anything for her? Like you have any kind of celebration? She's like, oh, I think they might be like just like saying happy birthday for her tonight. And I was like, oh, cool. You want to go to the house? She's like, oh no, let's just go to your house and hang out. I was like, all right, cool. So we get back to my apartment. We're just kicking it, and I'm watching like the Snapchat videos, and I can see like her sister's putting up like Snapchats of her grandma's 80th birthday, and this thing looks like an actual birthday event. And just like keep in mind, like you only turn 80 once, so I'm thinking like, hey, why didn't you tell me? We should have gone to like her 80th birthday party. She's like, I know, well, I think they're gonna have another thing later. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, look, no, that's not acceptable. We have to throw your grandma, her name's Lupe, Grandma Lupe. I'm like, we got to throw Grandma Lupe like an 80th birthday bash at Mitchell's apartment. Like, I'm going to cook everything I know how to make, which is like the greatest hamburgers of all time, steak or whatever you want to do. We'll make fries. And because I love Grandma Lupe. Like, every time I go to their house, like their family always makes me feel so welcome, and Grandma Lupe, her grandfather, Uncle Hector, everything like that. I love my girlfriend's family. And so, of course, we've been dating now for almost 8 months. Mm-hmm. And I've never actually had her entire family over to my house. I've had her sisters come over, and I like her uncle came over like on.
Wait, her cousin Hector, is he like the guy from Fast and the Furious?
No, her uncle Hector is not the guy from Fast and the Furious. But hey, no, he's cool,
boy,
man.
come on, it's Hector again.
No, yeah,
it's me.
No,
boy.
but her sister, I love when they come over because like we'll all make like a dinner, and like everyone helps out and everyone makes sense. We'll make like a huge dinner, and they'll be peeling the potatoes, and then I'll flip the burgers, whatever.
Flip those burgers.
Hey. So this is like the first time I said,
My
look.
brother does make some bomb ass food though.
So she's like, okay, so we have like this 80th birthday bash planned for her grandma at my house. And the day comes.
Sounds wild.
Dude, yeah, the day comes, dude, and everyone shows up but Grandma Lupe. And I'm like, what is this? The point of this was Grandma's birthday.
She was holding off for the jumper.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Jump in
But
there and break my hip.
I guess, because I get out of work.
You had no taco guy. She's like, I'm out of here.
So,
she was at Pepe's.
One thing that I always do when I go over there, every time I go over there, like, you're the guest, you pick out a movie, like, you're going to pick out a movie and, we're going to watch that movie. And so.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, but this time, so since it was Bella and her family, I'm like, okay, you guys get to pick out the movie. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be cooking, and we'll watch whatever you want and just celebrate. And even in the absence of her grandma, which kind of sucked because that was the point.
She turned on Telemundo.
They said they joked about it. They said
really?
They joked like we want to put. Her mom was like her mom and dad were there, so her mom's like, oh, can we put on a novella? And I was like, yeah, we can put on a novella. Like that's cool. And then she's like, I'm just kidding.
She wasn't.
No, but then.
Hey, why did those soap operas have the hottest girls in there, dude?
I don't know. So. I'm like, okay, pick out a movie. So they pick out Twister. And, we've talked about, like, Bill Paxton on our podcast before. Like, God bless Bill Paxton. Passed away a couple months ago. But they picked out Twister, which is a movie that came out in the mid-'90s, early 90s maybe, about a tornado just, like, flying through, just basically destroying cities. And I had, like, the bright idea. Like, I don't post anything to our Instagram.
No shit.
Like, the one thing I did post was, like, a stupid picture of Bill Paxton, and this is the genesis of this entire meme, was of, if you saw it, like, on our Eynon Brothers podcast Instagram, I put a picture of Bill Paxton looking at the board game Monopoly and then having a really sad face, and then him looking at the board game Twister and being, like, super stoked about it. And
you were the only one that got it.
I was like, oh, me and Bella were talking about, like, oh, yeah, this would be a hilarious meme. And then I put it out, and then I was like, wow, like, nobody likes it. Maybe, like, 10 or 12 people liked it, and that was about it. And then I was like, okay, I'm never posting anything again on our Instagram. But
leave it to me. Leave it to Beaver.
But overall, the party was fun. So her family definitely was a lot of fun to, just kick back with, and... after that, like, her mom brought some Mexican candy, and we were eating, like, this one was, like, a sweet potato, and I don't know the name of all of them. One was, like, a caramel that you just pop it in, dude, and it just starts melting, dude. It's really good. But this sweet potato candy was great, man. Like, I couldn't get enough of it. And then I had all my candy there, but, like, their candy was just, like, I didn't realize how sugary it was, dude. Like, their candy is just straight blocks of sugar. You know what I mean? It's just like basically like
do you remember
sugar
eating
cube,
Mexican
basically.
candy when we were little? Like,
I think the only Mexican candy we ate was Lucas. There was like baby Lucas.
The Lucas was good. Those were really good. I like the
Tamarindo.
Tamarindos were good.
Dude, the Poparindo.
The Vero mango lollipops were the shit.
the one that was the lollipop that was a watermelon, right?
They were called. I think they're called Vero.
What's that one?
Renbanditas.
What's that one that's like?
Then there was Rendo's elotes lollipops that look like corn.
What's the one that's like a little circle and there's like a flower in the middle? It's like a tan, sugary like candy. And it looks like I think there's a red flower in the middle, maybe.
I don't know. It's like a caramel one.
I don't think it's caramel, but I think it's just almost like a sugar cookie. It looks like, but it's a Mexican candy.
Then they had the Tamarindo.
The Tamarindo. That's
pulp
the white way to say it, though.
And it had it looked like a little injection thing. Remember those?
Yeah, it was a push-up. Oh wait, go back up. Oh wait. That's the one I was talking about earlier. The one with that was like white and circle.
It's like a milk caramel candy.
Aldama milk caramel.
Is that it?
I think that's it. Yeah, but no, the push-up one was hilarious, dude, because it was a Mexican candy where it was also Poparindo, but it was more of a liquid form. Mm-hmm. And you would push up from the bottom, and it would look
that wasn't it.
And it would look like hair coming out of like the top.
Hair? Oh, yeah.
It would look like a bunch of like little strings coming out of the top of the head. And like you lick it off the top.
That's what
De La Rosas.
De La Rosa. That's what you had, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the red flower. De La Rosas. Those were good, dude.
It's all shit.
I don't think they brought any of those over. Oh, there's the watermelon candy. Yeah, but and they had the Tamarindo, like the little sour balls almost. Hey, fool!
Hey, we got this shit off the Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, well, he used to sell it cheap, dude. Those were always the cheapest.
We got cap guns.
Yeah, then you get your Duvalin.
Mexican candy.
Yeah, De La Rosa.
Hey, fool.
Dude, we're getting all these likes on your video that you just put up, which was that we were podcasting today. Because I feel like, dude, honestly, like we started off our podcast, like we building up like an archive of a lot of material.
We really did.
And
that's very true.
There was one or two.
True,
we just did
true.
2 podcasts. We did like the Halloween one. Dude, I was actually listening to the Halloween one, and I was kind of mad, dude, because I realized that there was a story I really wanted you to tell that you did not tell, and it was the story about how you got locked in a freezer at 31 Flavors, dude. Can you please tell that story for the record, dude?
Oh my god, dude. You wanted me to bring it way back.
Yeah, well, I remember you telling me, and I was like, I for sure thought that was going to come up when you got locked in a freezer.
I didn't even think about that when I was writing those stories. But it's a great story, man. We'll back it up all the way to the beginning. So my first jobs were obviously like mowing lawns and doing crap for my neighborhood. But my very first job was at 31 Flavors, the ice cream place. And I remember going in and turning in an application. My mom dropped me off. And I turned in an application. And
you had no job history at this point.
No job, no.
Besides
nothing.
like mowing lawns.
This is day one shit. Out of 300,000 jobs that I've had. And this Indian lady, she was like, okay, I see her. Okay, no job history. She had her address, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, dumb. I was like, yeah. She's like, why should we hire you? And I was like, well, I have good customer service. I like people. Da, da, da. And at the end, I was like, also, I'm lactose intolerant. So I won't be eating any of your product. And she was like, when can you start?
Yeah, dude. She's like, okay, this guy's not going to cost me anything.
It was fun. And it was cool, man. It was a cool place. I remember, like, my dad and my family would always come in and, like, hey, can we get a scoop of ice cream? I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. All professional and shit. And you can't really be that professional when you're wearing an apron and a stupid visor.
Yeah.
I was wearing a visor, dude.
Yeah.
I was like Jason Chacon, dude, just wearing a visor. Blue visor, had spiky hair going through it. There was a couple things, it was fun. It was fun working there. I even ate a lot of the ice cream. There's a bomb little pizza place next door called Pizza USA that's still there.
I love that place.
Dude, we should just go there and just eat pizza. All right, we will. There's a couple things that I hated about this place. And what I hated most was making a banana split.
Why?
Because it was terrible. Making a banana split was terrible.
Uh-huh.
Let me just tell you a little bit about it. You have this little plastic, flimsy little tray that it comes in. Mm-hmm. Then you have to split a banana. You peel it and you split it down the middle. So there's 2 halves of this banana that are like floating around this little package. Then you're like, okay, what kind of ice cream do you want? And they're just like, let me see. And they take like 10 minutes to like figure out what 3 scoops of ice cream they want.
Yeah, what's gonna taste
good? Then you
good
put all
with
their
the
scoops,
banana. Yeah.
you put all their crap in there, and probably the worst thing that people would ask me for was marshmallow sauce.
What? It
Was
just melted marshmallows.
It was melted marshmallows in like a hot tray, and you would get it out and you would like put it all on the ice cream and everything. But a lot of it dripped all over the place.
Oh, nice. That must have been fun to clean up.
It would drip on your wrist, the counter, everything. I mean, there was just hot marshmallow sauce everywhere, dude. It was just disgusting. But it was hard to get off, man. Like that's what she said. It was like you had to really scrub it off. And once you got that off, it was you're good. But there was one scary time that I'll tell you about when I worked at 31 Flavors.
Yeah.
And it's the walk-in freezer.
Yep.
That's where they kept all the ice cream. All those shipments of ice cream would come in huge barrels they're like 50-gallon drums of like not 50-gallon drums, maybe like 5 or something.
Yeah.
Of ice cream, and they're all labeled. We kept them all in order, and it was disgusting in there because there was a lot of ice cream that would fall on the floor.
Yep.
You would have to wash it off with hot water. So before you go into this place, you would have to put on a little Russian hat. This little Russian hat that would keep your head warm. And you had to put on this huge trench coat, mafia freaking trench coat to go in there.
Yeah.
And, it's 97 degrees outside. I'm just wearing shorts and a little t-shirt. Dude, so I put this coat on. And they have me with this hot bucket of water cleaning, scraping ice cream off the floor in there.
Nice.
And as soon as you go in there, it's like Cool Runnings, and it's like, when they walk outside, when they first get to that snow place. I'm freezing, man. I need to put on 13 layers of clothes. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's cold, and it's a huge walk-in. And so I'm in there scrubbing this freaking ice cream off the ground, putting it in a little thing. I have my little hot water bucket. And I was like, all right, I need to go get more hot water because it's starting to get cold. So I go out to go get more hot water, and the fridge is closed. The door is shut.
So you couldn't get out. Yeah.
And I was like, hello?
You were by yourself working, right?
It was me and one other girl.
Okay.
But she was in the front. So it was like the front, and then there's the side room, there's the bathroom, and the way back of the store was the freezer.
Yeah.
So, she can be in the front, and I could be like, hey, help! She can't hear me.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's too thick. It's too loud.
Oh
and I was just like, dude, hey, help!
I'm gonna die.
Dude, I thought I was going to die in there. I was in shorts. I'm trying to pull this trench coat around me to keep warm more. And I keep banging on this wall. And I'm like, help! Get me out! And this door will not move. And I'm just like, dude, oh my God. And I'm not bullshitting you, dude. Maybe 5-10 minutes goes by. And then finally, it opens up.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, come on, I need your help outside. There's more customers. I was like, I've been in here. I've been freezing. Why won't you let me out? I was screaming for you. This is bullshit. That's terrible. She was like, Tommy, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then she points to the left of the fridge, and there's a little button that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
That says, push me. And I didn't see it.
Really?
And all you have to do, if
that wasn't covered in
that
training?
door was, no, it wasn't. And that door was closed. All you had to do is pop that little button, and it opened the door, and you push it open.
Yeah.
She did that. So she was like, here, watch. Close the door. I popped it open. I pushed the door open. I was freaking out, dude.
Yeah, dude, I would have freaked out. And if it wasn't covered in training, dude, there's a slight
There's no
possibility.
covering training. I had Indian owners. They're like, okay, when can you go to work? When can you leave? This is ice cream. Serve it to our customers. This is how you use the register. That's a freezer.
Let me tell you your fortune.
Dude, it was terrible, man. That was freaking scary. That was a good 10 minutes of my life that I was just like, I'm going to freeze in here. This is it.
Yeah. And she only came back there because she needed your help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a bummer, dude. That could have honestly been your life. See, and I wish that would have been included in the freaking Halloween one instead of just you getting hit by a bike. But it's all good, dude.
It's all good. Yeah, I didn't think
that was fun, man. So, hey, I know you just got back from. So Ivy's cousin is a football player, and
yeah,
you did
dude.
that tailgate party. I missed out on it, but
so her cousin Curtis Weaver.
Yeah,
he has been playing football since he was a little boy. Mm-hmm. We go see him when he was little, but he got drafted early last year to play for Boise State. I am an all-American guy that does not watch any sports.
Hey, Curtis Weaver, cool
my
story.
cousin Chris makes fun of me all the time. He's like, you're un-American. But it's pretty cool now because you have somebody to root for.
Yeah.
You're like,
that's
Weaver,
enough to put you in
99.
the game. That's enough to put you in the
game. He plays for
game.
Boise State. He's number 99. And he's this shit, dude. He's doing really, really well. So it's like they invited us, the whole Filipino family. Like, we're going to go tailgating, and they were going to go tailgating in San Diego, and then we're going to go watch him afterwards. And I think I'm the last white guy on the planet that has never gone tailgating. I've never been tailgating ever in my life.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so they're like, we're going to get up, we'll have our own place, barbecue. So I'm like, all right, cool. I hit up a couple of my friends. It's my birthday weekend, first off.
Nice.
And I'm like, I was like, dude, I can't believe they're taking over my birthday weekend. I was like, you know what? Let's make it my birthday weekend extravagance. I was like, you know what we're doing for my birthday? We're going tailgating, guys. So we're going tailgating. So I wrapped up a couple of my buddies. We went and got a room in San Diego.
Who went with you, Jason?
Jason, his girlfriend Annie, Ivy, and who else was there? Oh, my friend Jay and Lauren. And all six of us, all five of us. Annie wasn't there. Sorry, it was the five of us. We all shared one room.
Nice.
So we had Jason had the
Cutting
pull-up
costs,
bed, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was great. And then we show up to the tailgate, and I really didn't know what to expect. We brought some, a couple handles with us, some ice.
Yeah.
And we got there. One of the cousins had an RV, so it was perfect. And they had like a couple pop-up tents. Their kids were playing games. There was like 1,000 kids,
Yeah.
And then we were barbecuing all day, just drinking, playing games. Dude, it was so much fun, dude. And then at the end of the night, I was like, whew, I'm ready to go to sleep. They're like, all right, we're going to go watch the game now. I was like, oh, God, this was a long night. And no, dude, it was cool. We had like front row seats. We got to see Curtis play. He sacked a bunch of dudes. He was like playing defense. He was crushing it. It was so much fun. And then afterwards, we went back to the hotel. And everyone's like, you guys ready for bed? And I was like, nope. And so we went out downtown San Diego and raged all night. So it was good times, man. It was really cool. But it's cool now to see Curtis play. Like, I'm watching him on TV, dude. So Ivy and I will go to like a bar or something. We'll be like put on the game. And we were like, yeah, let's go Weaver 99. Ivy gets really into it. She's super loud. But it's cool, man, having someone to root for.
Did you actually meet him after the game, or did he even come out?
Yeah, we
and
met
say
him
what's
after
up to
the
family?
game, but I mean, he's at every single party, like a Filipino party. Like,
he doesn't care. He's just going to a football game after.
I see him as my little cousin.
Yeah, well, because you knew him very well before he was a football player, right?
Yeah, I've known him for like the last 8 years of his life.
But before he was just like some
he was just a little
Filipino
Pop Warner little piece of shit. Like now he's like a full blown college player.
You're like, hey, now I got some respect for you.
Yeah. Now I'll come watch you and just pull Eynon on him, dude.
That's cool. Yeah, what is pulling an Eynon?
Pulling an Eynon,
respect
dude,
once you're big.
Yeah,
once you got money.
Once you have some money, dude.
Yeah, but going back to how you got your new iPhone and everything, I wanted to tell a story. Dude, I was in Bellflower like maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe last weekend, and as you know, like whenever you go to Bellflower, you start getting all nostalgic. Like, oh my God, there's the Tam's Burgers, there's the car wash, and the funny thing is, even though I live in Downey, I still go over to the Bellflower car wash, which is like that Bellcomp car wash, just to get my car washed. Mm-hmm. And it's like every 10 washes, you get a free one and everything like that. So I'm like, dude, I'm still going to go over there. I still got my card. And so I drop my car off over at Bellcomp car wash. And, of course, across the street is Tam's Burger, which is like right next door to like some like old 94-cent video rentals that my brother and we used to just like live there, go there and rent movies every night. But I went to this place called Tam's Burgers, which is like this dive restaurant that just has, like the cheeseburger for 99 cents and just like these amazing giant steak cut fries, for $1 and everything like that. So for a good bargain, I go across the street. I'm like ready to just fill up on all this junk food. And I get in line and there's like maybe like a family in front of me, maybe two families. And then there's like this group of kids and they're all wearing like soccer outfits, like they just got finished with the soccer game and everything like that, and they're all like talking like, oh yeah, the game this and the game that, and then pretty soon they all get like their phones out, their iPhones, and they're all just stoked about, like one kid specifically was like super like the loudmouth. You could tell he was like the alpha male of the group, and he's just like, yeah man, I got a phone, and he had like this nice iPhone 10, which is like they all had basically phones that were better than what I have, which is like the iPhone 5S. And they're all talking like, how do these kids like just all have phones? And
because that's what their parents buy them.
But there was this one kid who just didn't have a phone out, and then like the alpha male of their group, he's like, hey, if you don't have a phone, you're poor.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And I was just like, oh man, this kid. It's so
what a piece of shit.
Yeah, man. And they were all looking at the kid who didn't have the phone. And And they were basically just looking at him like, hey, you're poor because you don't have a phone. And I'm just thinking, like, is that what wealth is to these kids? Like, that's what I'm thinking, you know, like, is that what wealth is to these kids? Like, having a phone, you know, and in certain communities, like, look, I'm in Bellflower, you know, like, in some communities, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, being wealthy is having a nice car with spinners, you know, or...
Spinners, dude.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, look, it just depends, but... You know, and in this circle, you know, it's having the phone. You know, like, oh yeah, you gotta have a phone.
The shoes, the
yeah.
clothes.
If you don't have a phone, you're just not making it in life. And it just got me thinking, dude. Like, I was like, I could tell like this kid like wanted to cry. You know,
Really?
and like, yeah, but this loudmouth kid, dude, I just wanted to punch him in the face, man. Like,
Sure.
and then he looked over at me and he did like a nod, like, "What's up?" You know. And just keep in mind, like, this kid's like 10 years old, and I'm just looking at him like, dude, you just haven't figured out life yet, you know. And then they're like, okay, that's gonna be $19. He actually pays for all the kids' food, and so by the time I get up there and I pay for the food, I'm like, I'm gonna sit right next to these kids as close as I can.
Wow, dude, you're a baller. You could freaking afford
you
a
afford
$3 burger.
Yeah, you can afford
fucking
Tam's
baller.
burger for 4 kids. And I'm
And
just
you live in Bellflower. You're so rich.
here's what the kid hasn't figured out yet. You know, so I'm over there sitting down, and the sad thing is, like, they're just punking this kid. It just doesn't have money to pay for his lunch. He didn't have a phone, and they're calling him poor to his face. They're like telling him, you need to get up and get the food because you're not, you know, you don't have nothing, you know. And you could tell, like, the only thing that's keeping this kid tied to this group is like the fact that, you know, that he's on their soccer team and he's wearing the same soccer uniform. And this loudmouth kid, I'm just looking at him like, dude, this kid. And it's not just me, you know. There's like other families around him, like just looking at him, like, dang, like what's wrong with this?
What a piece of
yeah,
shit.
like what's wrong with these kids? Now they might be 10 or 11 now, but you're living in Bellflower. Chances are this kid's gonna go to Bellflower High School, and when you're around 15 or 16, that's when these kids, you know, they're teenagers, are starting to realize, you know, like, you know, some of these kids feel really lost. You're gonna say that to the wrong kid, you know, or you're gonna say that to the same kid. And it's just going to hit that point where it's like, hey, man, you're poor. And some of these kids, they feel like they got nothing to lose. You know, I don't know if you remember, but I went to Bellflower High School. You went to Bellflower High School. And some of those kids have nothing to lose. They feel like one of these days he's going to say something like that. And I just know this kid's going to get what's coming to him.
Bye-bye.
He's going to get shanked. He's going to get, you know, stabbed in the hallway or something like that in the bathroom. You know, and it's just going to, that's going to be that kid's
Sad.
life. And I struggled with whether or not do I say something to these kids, you know, am I, and I'm thinking, I'm like this adult going on 30, is it really my place to say something to some 10-year-old kid or 11-year-old kid in a restaurant, like, hey, no, that's not right, you know, like, I don't know, I struggled with that, you know, like whether or not I should say something, and if it was my place to say something, you know, whether or not it was right for me to say something, you know, it was sad to see that happen, you know, and I just know, like you know,
so I slid his bike tire.
yeah, and we grew up in a different time where it's like, you know, it was still acceptable to not have a phone yet. I know, like, the 4 of us at one point, you know, when we were kids in high school, we still shared a cell phone. Not everyone had a cell phone, you know.
Dude, my first
it was
fucking
still
cell phone,
it was still a luxury.
I was on a cell phone that my friend gave me in elementary or high school. You know, I had to buy minutes for it.
Oh, your prepaid phone.
Yeah.
And they still have like plans like that. I think it's like, you know, prepaid plans with AT&T, but it's just
Nokia.
not. Yeah, it's not common anymore.
Snake.
Yeah, Snake too. It's just not common anymore. So it's like, but when we were kids, you know, you were considered wealthy if like your family had the N64 or some, you know, some new TV or video game console. It wasn't the phone, you know, like which is like what it is now, you know, and that
It's
whole
weird, man.
yeah.
It's changed.
Yeah, so, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know what, you never even know. Like, that kid could have been wealthy. He just might not have had a phone. And, you know, maybe his parents are, like, making it in life, and they don't want him to have a phone yet.
I mean, maybe that kid was balling until he goes home to his piece of shit apartment that all fucking 4 people live in.
That's the thing. You know, like I was saying, like those people with the spinners or the nice car or...
Stop saying spinners. Nobody's using those anymore.
You know, those people with spinners or the nice car or, you know, the gold teeth or the chain, you know, they have all this money and, you know, or credit, I could say, you know, to present this life that they think is super wealthy and rich. But what do they go home to but like some like torn down apartment? You know, it's just all a facade. You know what I mean? It's like they want to put all their money, you know, and I'm not even saying like, you know, these kids were wearing chains or anything like that. But like the bling, like just think back of like to the whole bling bling era, you know, where it's like people had every penny of what they owned, you know, all, you know, just wrapped up in what they had wrapped around their neck, you know, or just any equity that they could possibly have was not a nice home or, some nice fortune in stocks. It was just like some baloney necklace or some stupid, spinner or some stupid, TV in their car. So it just goes to show, like how much times have changed, what kids value. And that'd be interesting, dude, if we even had kids like on the podcast, like what is cool? Like what's cool now? What does it mean to like what's like the hot music or, anything like that?
Yeah.
When you were in high school, did you ever get bullied or did you ever bully anybody? Like what was your experience with bullying in high school?
I always thought about that, when I was in elementary school, like, oh man, when I go to high school, I'm gonna get bullied. I'm gonna get my head dunked in the toilet.
Yeah, swirly.
But, I was always a pretty tall kid.
Yeah.
I was taller than most kids, which is cool, played in my favor. And also, I wasn't one of those kids where I sided with one side. I was cool with every single group. I was cool with the Mexicans. I was cool with the black people. I was cool with the white people. I was cool with Asian people. Like, that's just how, that's how I am today. Like, I'm cool with everybody. And I'm not like, yeah, white people, yeah. I'm not, like.
I think we all
Going back to your question, if I've ever been bullied, no. I was never bullied in high school, and I never bullied anybody else.
Never?
No. That's just not my style. My personality, I'm an influencer, and I'm a very, like, I just want to get along with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I always want everybody to be my friend.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I live my life today. Like, if I find out there's somebody that doesn't like me in my workplace, I'm going to do all that I can to make that person like me. It's so weird, dude. It's like, maybe not the right way to do things.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to like me from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life, dude.
But dude, I remember, a few times of you like for example, this is going to be such a throwback for you. When we used to when we were in Bellflower High, we used to get out of school, we used to walk home down Woodruff and Cornuda with this like one black guy, and there was like a lemon tree where we would pick lemons off of this person's tree and we would throw them at people like that were walking on the other side of Cornuda. We would pick the lemons, and I think his name was Jasper. And we would pick. Wait, do you remember this?
I remember that shit.
Wait,
from behind the wall.
Yes, we would pick lemons off the tree and just chuck them.
There was
people,
a little
dude.
church on the way home, and it had a lemon tree in the front. We go pick like 13.
And we're like, look at that! You see that fat guy way down there? All right, let's throw a lemon at him.
The wall was about. It was about the high as our head.
Yeah.
So we can kind of like get on our tippy toes and kind of see who's coming.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, here comes some people. I mean, the lemons wouldn't hit them.
Sometimes they would.
Sometimes they would. It hit close to them.
They hit their backpack.
And just launch those friggin' things over the wall. Dude, I haven't thought about that since you brought that up.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I knew you wouldn't remember that. It's just been so long.
And that was so funny, just seeing the people's reactions.
Yeah, I do. I remember though, and
I remember buying. We had an ice cream man that came around like our place, and they had these little poppers, but they were like stink bombs. Yeah. And you would just have to push like the little thing in the bag, and it would like pop up.
Yeah, it would like start expanding until it just.
So there was, I remember popping those in high school. So there was a place where everybody would go to get their breakfast, and it was like they had like McDonald's sandwiches or something. But like 1,000 people would crowd around this like little tiny cart, and I would always make my way to the front, pop one of those little things, and then shove it underneath the cart.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden, like 3 minutes later, like.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, dude, it stinks, dude. Oh,
dude, I got in trouble. I remember with Scott Martin, which is our old youth pastor, because I popped one at church. We were inside of our church used to meet inside of the what was the Krikorian Theater in Downey, and he was just giving his sermon one day, and I just like popped a stink bomb, and then he like pulled me into the office afterwards. He's like, Mitchell, did you pop a stink bomb during church? Because like one of the girls tells on you, and that's it. But yeah.
Then they had those little glass ones. You remember those glass ones?
The glass ones smelled worse, dude.
Those were bad.
Yeah, those ones stunk even worse. But dude, I think that the only kid that I messed with was this kid named Matt. when I was in middle school, and I would like take his homework and like put it inside of like a textbook so he couldn't find it and everything like that, and he'd get all worked up. But he would never tell. Like he would never tell the teacher that I would like take his homework, and he would miss out on stamps.
See, dude, you're a bully.
That wasn't like, dude, that was like, it was stupid, you know, like that I did that. Poor Matt. But I remember I saw him at like that 94-cent video place in Bellflower when we were growing up. We used to always rent our movies there, and I think he was with his girlfriend. I saw him and I was like, I saw him and I'm like, hey, what? I'm like, what's up, dude? And he's like, hey, what's up? You know, he's just acting like he's cool with you. But I waited till he was like kind of on his own, and I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry for like anything that I did during high school. And it just reminds me of like that scene.
Oh, I get a funny.
Huh? Dude, and it reminds me of like that scene from Billy Madison where Adam Sandler's like calling everyone that he punked and when he was in high school, and he calls that Crazy Eyes guy, and he's like, hey, I just wanted to apologize. And he's like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. Like I don't hold a grudge. But then it cuts to the scene of like that guy that he punked, like crossing his name off of like a 2-kill list. And like, you never know, dude. Like you never know, like things like that where, you know, somebody who like that pissed you off so bad had plans to like just like kill you or something like that, you know, when you get punked. Because when you're in high school, dude, like you're on full throttle, dude. Like anyone that messes with you or makes you look stupid in front of other people, like that's a big deal, man. That is a big deal. Like that's your reputation when you're in high school. You're seeing them 5 days a week, 4 years in a row.
You were just reminding me of a good story.
Okay.
So recently, one of my really good friends from high school works for T-Mobile, and recently I decided to get a new phone, switch carriers, and I had one of my homeboys come over.
Yeah.
And this is one of my buddies. We went to school together. We worked together when we were younger. In the 8th grade, we were in band. We all played drums. And there was this guy named Chitty.
Okay, I remember hearing this name.
He was from Africa.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, he didn't speak a lot of good English. And this, every day, we were like, dude, we're going to fuck you up. But we were just kidding, right? We were like, dude, we're going to beat you up after the class. To Chitty. And every day, he would run out of band class at the last period of the day, bolting out of that class. Bye! Yeah. Dude, like, running so freaking fast. Yeah, and we're like, come here! Get over here! Like, we're just pretending.
Yeah.
And then
but he didn't think so.
Dude, he thought his life was over. And then me and my other brother Lyndon, he was black too.
I remember Lyndon. Dude, yeah. He used to come over and like order pizzas and play like Grand Theft Auto 3 with us.
And his brother Dean, who was like taller than any of us. And we would all tell this fool Chitty, was like, bro, you better run on this.
Dude, that funny thing is a lot of your buddies in high school were like those big black guys.
Yeah.
You were always,
I'm telling you, dude, like all of my friends growing up were all black, Mexican, and Asian. I didn't have any white friends. And
there were no white people to be friends with.
We're like, hey, fool, you better run out of here. And he was like, oh, hey, brother, I don't want no trouble. You know?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, you better run. And then, dude, as soon as the bell rang, he boom, just jolts out of there. And then we'd chase him halfway out and then just like laugh. But I met up with my boy Lyndon, and years after high school, we actually all got a job together working at Olive Garden. Mm-hmm. And it was so much fun. We had a blast. It was just jokes all day long. And you might have heard it on one of my last podcasts, but we would sing this song, and this song would come on the radio. It was like, I was getting some head, getting some head, getting, right? And so we changed it because we would always go into the kitchen and we were getting bread.
Yeah.
For our customers.
The breadsticks, man.
And I was like, I was getting some bread. One day I came up with this. I was getting some bread, getting some bread, getting some bread. I was getting some bread, right?
Yeah.
And that just turned into like a phenomenon at the Olive Garden. Back when I was like, you know,
I think he did that as Jesus when
I was getting. I was getting some bread, getting some bread. I was getting some bread, dude. It was like the phenomenon of like that.
And then Chitty came.
Dude, I actually was talking to Lyndon, and he was like, dude, I was actually in a club like 2 years ago, and I was chilling, and then like that fool Chitty. He's like, I saw him, and he was a nerd back then, but he was all swagged out, Like, he was looking like a G. He was all ripped up and shit. Like,
good
buff.
for Chitty, man.
He was buff, and he's like, "Hey, brother, weren't you the one that was?" And they totally connected in a club, and he was all like looking good, like good looking guy, like fucking super ripped and shit. I was like, dude, good for that fool, dude.
Yeah, good for him though.
You
like,
know?
Because
Hey,
that could have gone the other way.
Bullying needs, dude.
That could have gone the other way.
You know, yeah, he could have been like a heroin addict, but now he's just a G, just pulling chicks.
Yeah, go Chitty, dude. If you're out there and you hear this,
Chitty, bang, bang, baby.
Yeah, hey Chitty, if you hear this, we're coming for you, man.
We're gonna get you, bro.
We're gonna kick your ass.
We're running for you right now.
Oh my god!
I got the goal.
Just kidding, Chitty. We love you, man. Poor guy. I remember this other kid, Steven. We used to call him Gay Steven and throw like pizzas at his face. Yeah, that was even worse.
Christ.
And remember Mr. Higgins?
No.
Was like that black guy with the cornrow lines in his head?
Did I? Oh, at Bellflower.
Bellflower High. Mr. Higgins was like that tall black guy, and he had like lines on his head.
He was like a raisin head.
Yeah, because he had his cornrows were just like, I guess, pulled too tight when he was a kid.
Too tight.
Well, he saw it. And he was like, he told me, he's like, one of these days, you're going to get it back. And I remember walking, dude, and a bird shit on my head, man.
Jeez.
Dude, a big white turd, dude. Like a bird shit. Same day that I was messing with Steven. And then the next day, another bird shit on my head. So 2 days in a row.
That's a shitty week.
Dude, 2 birds shit on my head. And I know, like, that was like a sign, dude. Like Mr. Higgins told me. Like, you're going to get it coming back to you.
2 chits for every boy.
Had a 34 wagon and they called it a Woody. Surf Shitty, here we come.
Surf Shitty.
Surf Shitty. Gonna surf shitty cause it's to the one. We're gonna surf shitty cause it's have some fun. Gonna surf shitty cause it's to the one. Gonna surf shitty, gonna have some fun. I said there's 2 girls for every boy. Hey! Hey, how you doing? This is Mitchell and Tommy. We're back from the podcast.
Alrighty then.
We were just talking about, of course, all the jobs that we've had. Tommy mentioned that he worked for Amway at one point, and if anyone knows anything about...
you mean the Scamway?
Scamway, or these jobs that pull you in, and, it could be USANA or
it's just like the
Quick
pyramid,
Star,
baby. It's a pyramid.
Or it's a pyramid scheme. Basically, pyramid schemes, I feel like they approach you when you're in your early 20s. And these businesses come along and they make big giant promises of you can have anything you want. You just put it on.
They
a pinboard
overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah, well, you actually ended up signing up for one. And real quick before you go into that, I actually went to one meeting. I remember when I was looking for jobs on Craigslist. You post your job and everything like that. I ended up getting a job, but then one other person hit me up. In the meantime, they're like, "Hey, are you looking for a job?" It's like, "Oh no, I already found one." And they're like, "Oh well, this isn't gonna take like any time during your day job. This is like a way you can make a bunch of quick extra money." And at 19, 20, you're kind of like, "Oh yeah, well I want a bunch of extra money on the side. That's cool.
I'll take an extra 60,000.
Yeah, I'll show up at your meeting." I go, and it's this big long thing. It's for this brand called USANA, and basically you're selling. USANA stands for it's USANA, so you're selling a bunch of medical products for this company. And you get a kickback, but of course you have to put in your own money, and you have to put in a couple $100 every month just to get a little like $10-$20 check back. So they're like, yeah, at first it's very small, but then you grow and you have people under you. That's how they describe it, people under you that you have brought into the business.
Yeah,
and pretty soon you'll be making checks that are bigger than what you're putting into it. And I said, no thanks, this doesn't look for me. And even at that age, I could call bullshit. And so I never did sign up. But the funny thing is, my poor friend Josh, we mentioned him before on the podcast, but he was looking for a job. And I remember he was telling me how he was working at like Knott's Berry Farm, and he would always say, "I'm so depressed, dude." I'm like, I'm in the lines for where like people stand in line for a ride, and now I'm sweeping people next to people's feet in line at Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah, he did Cutco, but I directed into this business called USANA. It's kind of like a joke, like, yeah, you should go check out these people. And I gave him his name as a reference, and then they called him, and he went down there for the meeting. And he's like, "Mitchell, I hate you, man. This is just another stupid brand like Cutco." Which Cutco was like, what, they were selling just knives, and that's it, right? And then Josh was always like trying to sell knives for like a good couple months, but
Dude, I got sucked into Amway, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so Amway, what is that? That's like, is it just any product or?
Amway was the products. That's what they delivered. But there was a business attached to it, which was called like Worldwide or something. Worldwide, and they're just all about 4 things, dude.
Quick Start Worldwide.
Dude, it's all about freedom. Dude, you can have your own freedom.
Financial freedom, man.
Dude, you can have your own freedom. You run your own business, dude. It's free. It's freedom. It's all about family.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to have a family, man? This is a family. And it's all about hope. Dude, don't you hope to, like, one day be a billionaire? Like, just ride your own boat on your own lake. Yeah, it's all about hope. There's one other thing. Reward. We're going to reward you for your efforts. It's bullshit, dude.
It is. Well, I remember you had, and speaking of family, like, I would come over here, and we would come over here just to support you when you were doing your presentation.
So we would show plans.
And you'd have, like, product.
You know, I'll be quite honest. Back then, online shopping wasn't as big as it was today. So back then, trying to sell people on, like, getting your groceries, all your day-to-day stuff online was like, I'd rather just go to the store.
Right.
You know? And then
Amazon.
you'd get, you know, I was going to the
free
ghetto.
2-day shipping.
I was going to the ghetto of Long Beach, the ghetto of LA to just talk to a bunch of losers that didn't want to hear what I wanted to have to say. And I'm just like, hey, dude, here's the plan, dude. There's me. You're all underneath me. I get a chip off of what you buy. No, I didn't say that. But
I get a chip off of what you buy.
Yeah, I'm wearing a suit, so I'm important, and I have a red tie. Listen to me, dude. I got the way. I'm going to make us all rich. No. It's the CEO on the top of the president. Underneath, you have the president, the vice presidents, the middle management, the team leaders, the hard-working slaves underneath that. It's just like, it all goes up. Yeah. It all goes up to these upper dudes. And it's like, the shitty thing was, it's not like, here's the thing. You have to buy your own products, right?
Yeah.
You buy your own products, and then, you know, you have to hit a certain PV, a personal volume.
What is PV? Like, it sounds like something from Pokemon. Like, they're...
Dude, it's just moving product through your own sphere of network. And it's just like, it's a terrible idea, bro. I got sucked into that shit for a year, and then I was just like, dude, I'm spending more money than I'm making money.
Right.
I am Seacrest out!
Yeah.
I had a pretty big team, too, dude, for a while, but I wasn't seeing, like, any money.
You were really spending money, like, on these products.
Dude, I was going to Portland and going to, like, Seattle and, like, all these other places to, like, go see conferences, and it's all fluff, pump up. You can do it, yeah, you're all right, rah-rah.
Yeah.
But they weren't really teaching you anything.
I remember
Listen to these CDs, dude. You gotta go to these meetings.
Dude, I remember one night when
you
you had a presentation to our family. You know, you guys need to get on the boat with this.
Yeah.
And we
were
like
drinking the Kool-Aid.
It got to the point where I remember at the end of the night, you guys were huddled around me. You and I were huddled around me in a computer.
What's your credit card number?
And you guys were asking me to please buy like these protein bars. They're like, just come on, dude, just buy these protein, $50. You know, like. Come on.
$50 a protein bar, dude.
You're like, dude, just come on, dude. Just buy them, dude. Like, be a part of a business. If you're not gonna join, just buy it. And I ended up buying like the protein bars, but like I was pushed into it, dude. Like,
but to be honest, dude, all the stuff that we got from there were pretty good.
Yes, the products
were good, but it was the way that we were getting the clientele was like shitty. If you want to make it in that industry, you have to know like 50,000 people. They're just down, like whatever you say, and then they'll follow you and do whatever you do. If you have a large social gathering like that, you would make good money in that place. But for the average Joe that just didn't know that many people, and you know like 5-10 people, and like they didn't want to do it, you're just always out looking for people, like our friend Travis.
Travis, right?
And dude,
he was always over here.
He's
just hanging
still
out.
doing it. And
is he really?
Yeah, I saw him like 2 years ago, legitimately at the place over here at Bellaterra. He was like showing people.
He was showing the plan.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, give it up. You're gonna be a loser forever.
He was showing the plan.
He was.
Wow. What did you were
some
like
Asian people that didn't even speak English?
Yeah.
He's like, here's the plan. They're like,
hey, and you were like, I don't miss that, huh?
I don't miss that. Dude.
Imagine, dude. But you look at him and he's wearing like all these like gold chains and shit.
It gets you pumped when you go to those meetings, dude, and you like get so fired up. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, but at the end of the day, it's just like, nah.
Yeah. Well, who was it that sold you on it, and why?
Oh, my best friend Jason.
Jason, and who sold him?
Another professional.
So but there's something behind like the psyche, like these power talks, and like how like you see people on TV, like people that can tell you your fortune and give you stuff like Miss Cleo, or
she's like, the cards don't lie. I do.
Or like a power talk pastor like Joel Osteen, like these people who just have promises and they have like this, like
they overpromise and underdeliver.
This knowledge of like, just like, I have what you don't have, and they just act like they really do have something that you really need. But it all comes down to, like, even with people like Miss Cleo or Joel Osteen, who's like at the end of the day always asking for money, they are able to sell so many people on this product, like, who is it that's watching TV late at night? Who is it that's watching TV hopeless and feeling like, yeah, man, like, I need to talk to Joel's people, or I need to know my future, Miss Cleo, or like, it's almost like they're playing off this underlying sadness or hopelessness, or just like, despair, or kind of just like a depression or a hopelessness, like people that just need hope, and they're looking to get it any way they can. And people that are popping up on TV, like power speakers, are promising this to them, and they're like, hey, I can give you this, I can give you that. And they're looking up to them.
They really are.
They're looking up to them like, hey, this person has what I need. This person can give me what I want. I can go on with life. And they pay it out, like they pay out Joel.
Because they follow into a character. That guy is a character. And he has this persona that people like. They like the way, what he says.
But you look at like he's got like some mega $1 million church in Texas.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to me, like even during like that flood that,
didn't want to let a single motherfucker in.
Yeah, the Texas flood that just occurred. He didn't want to let anybody in. He didn't want anyone damaging his nice little fortress.
You better not come in.
And he's on TV. It's like, I'm telling you right now.
I don't want a bunch of wet people in here.
Yeah, he says he does, but there's pictures, and there was a need. There was a need, to get into that church, and people were pointing him that way, and he's just like, go to the next food and shelter, and when that fills up, then maybe we'll think about letting you in my powerhouse church. But that
it's a joke.
It's almost like a facade.
It is a facade.
It's a facade that he needs. So like that's how he's paying his bills every month, and he has a major mansion out in But what I was watching a couple of videos, and
that's why religion to me is just like sometimes it's a joke.
He has a major mansion out there, but the way he's selling it to his clients, I want to say, or the members of his church, is that if I am blessed, if I am, given wealth from the glory of God through you and through God, then you are all receiving it. Like, you're vicariously receiving it as well. They're
like, Joel, we're drowning.
Yeah, he's saying you're...
Nah, fam, you good.
You can vicariously live through me, almost like when I receive wealth, you receive wealth.
Yeah, well, let's freaking trade houses then, you piece of shit.
Let them in, Joel.
Let them in, Joel.
They're tired and hungry and poor. Let them in.
He's like, do they got any money to contribute?
And as for Miss Cleo, dude, you know what? She's just a fraud. She was just.
They're all frauds.
She was looking at Pokemon cards, acting like she knew.
She's trying to trade a Squirtle for your.
Call me now.
Hey, right now, baby boo. I want to talk to you. I got a nice shoe. Hey, I want to show you. Hey, I ain't no fool. Cool. It ain't cool if you ain't got no fortune to tell. Let me tell you. I got nowhere to go.
So what happened? You have a hard time with religion because of people like Joel Osteen?
Yeah, man. I have a hard time with religion since day one. It's just...
What's the problem?
It's kind of hokey.
What about religion is hokey to you? People like Joel, or in general?
When you just look at all the different religions all together, everybody has everyone's their right way. How do you know it's your right way? Faith. Gotta have faith.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I don't know if I want to go down this hole right now.
Well, I'll say this. I definitely believe in God. But the thing is, yes, when you have people around, billions of people around the earth, and everyone has different values, a lot of times different religions are going to stretch their religion to what their
look at the Catholic religion, bro. They have based their whole religion off raping little boys. How do you get away from that, dude?
That's not true.
How do you get away
from that? I think that
well, with all these allegations, dude, over the last 100 freaking years.
Yeah, but to say that their religion's based off of raping little boys, it's not accurate. It's just not.
Well, that's the only religion you hear it in. You don't hear the Mormon religion like, we just can't stop raping these kids. It's all Catholic.
Yeah, but the Mormon religion, not in record numbers like the Catholic religion, but in Mormon churches and even in non-denominational Christian churches like we grew up with, you can bet that somewhere out there's probably a kid being raped.
But how many times are you hearing about it just specifically the Catholic Church?
Well, because it plays to the tune that we're used to hearing. Like,
because
here we
these
go.
Guys can't have sex with any other girls.
It's like, here we go.
Can't have sex with girls. So they have these little turtle freaking kids coming in like, oh yeah, I thought about a girl.
It's common. It's common, and it's not as common in Catholic churches like it used to be. But you start getting things and people that come forward, just like with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and the Bill Cosby stuff, and now it's what's his name?
Those aren't churches though. Those aren't religions.
Yeah, but people weren't coming forward in record numbers like they used to. With even what's the guy's name from American Beauty? Kevin Spacey. Now he's facing charges.
Yeah, Louis C.K.
That's huge. Like you don't.
It's there, man.
We didn't hear about all that stuff. Like we did when it started off with Bill Cosby. Like we did 5 years. We didn't hear like all that stuff like 5 years ago.
Well, social media.
A lot of that stuff is coming forward, and there's people that have been calling complete lunatics, like Corey Feldman. The kid from the Goonies who played Mouth, and he was in The Lost Boys. He's been crying for years.
Going back to your original question about religion.
Okay, yeah, you have a bone to pick with it?
No, not on this podcast.
You just don't like the fact... Okay, so to clarify, you just don't like the fact that there are bad things happening in religious circles.
No, that's not it.
Because that's going to happen no matter what. And your faith in Jesus Christ ultimately is going to be between just you and Jesus Christ. Aside of any kind of religious gathering or, like we're all singing and we're all going to pray in front of each other. At the end of the day, if you have a religion, if you have a connection,
I don't really have any experiences.
Yeah, well, and that's just you, But so what you're saying is that
let me just leave it at this, Mitch. I believe in God.
Okay.
I believe there's a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe in organized religion, and I don't believe in certain practices. But at the end of the day, I do believe there's a God. I believe there's a higher power, but I just don't believe in,
religions?
Yeah.
And organized? Okay.
Yeah.
But do you believe in... Okay, I get you. Do you believe in the Tesseract?
Who?
The Tesseract from Guardians of the Galaxy? It's like it's a compendium of power?
No.
You're not following with Guardians of the Galaxy and all the Marvel movies?
No.
Oh, okay. So you didn't see the new Thor movie, which is like the highest rated new Marvel movie of all time.
I have not.
And I haven't seen it either, but we should probably go watch it after this podcast because it is the highest rated Marvel movie of...
Well, dude, if you're getting that excited about it, dude, just tell me about it. Dude.
I'm stoked about it. I want to go watch the new Thor. I almost feel like we should go watch it because I loved the first Thor, and I really, really like the second one was okay.
Dude, imagine Mike Tyson trying to tell you about the movie.
It's Thor.
Yeah, you ever seen the movie Thor?
Yeah.
That movie Thor. Like, dude, are you Thor? Or are you talking about the movie Thor? No, I'm seriously Thor. No, it's the highest growth movie right now.
Yeah. Well, all right. What are your thoughts on okay? Do you like
closing out this conversation
of great powers and responsibility?
Yes.
Okay, go.
No, I was just closing out this exactly what you were going to say. Just I want to close out the religion because I don't want to offend anybody or make anybody mad. But those are my views. Those are my thoughts. I'm not going to get more deep into it. But what's up with Thor, dude? What's up with Thor?
Look, if you like the whole Marvel universe, and I personally like Captain America. I love Iron Man.
What are your views on religion?
Personally, I like. I'm kind of like you, where I'm less on the boat with religion and more on the boat with God and having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I feel like if I'm going to pray, I don't need to do it in front of 10 other guys and hold hands.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do feel like I should pray. And I do feel like giving thanks for my food and giving thanks for
my
everything.
wife and I pray every night together for dinner.
Yeah, and giving thanks for so many different things. I feel like I feel good when I do it. I feel like it's the right thing to do. I definitely feel like there's an alpha and omega to existence and to like some ultimate timeline. Like I feel like there's definitely a God. And I believe that there is a Jesus Christ and God the body and the Holy Spirit. I feel like
in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, amen. Yeah. So anyways, so I'm a little excited about this new Thor movie because it was just so high rated and I haven't watched it yet. My girlfriend saw it without me with her sister and her dad. And I'm like, dude, I need to watch this with somebody. Like, will you go watch Thor with me?
Yeah.
Today?
Jeez, you proposing to me?
Dude.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
dude, we gotta go watch this movie.
All right, let's go.
All right, we're gonna go watch Thor 3 and then we'll come back to you.
Let's do this. Peace.
Bye.